Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 450th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, September 15th, 2022. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I'll be host once again in these weekly Knowledge Seekers Workshop series. And once again, we have the pleasure of being with the presence of Mr. Mehran Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, who is here to deliver today's teaching. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Are you ready to begin?
Yes. Good morning, good day to you, as usual. Whenever and wherever you listen to this series of Knowledge Seekers workshops of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, we welcome you back. And as Rick said, 450 teachings on this series alone. And as we were discussing before, we passed nearly 500 when you put everything else together, maybe even plus. The most important thing is not the numbers, but how much knowledge we shared and how much knowledge we gain and what will be the future. When you listen to this intro, you look at the flight system and talks about how man has achieved to whatever. And when you now know the technology which is developed, this technology, this even recording, has become in a way obsolete. Instead of aircrafts, instead of copper balloons, instead of plasma reactors, now we use the reactor of the man, the essence of his creation, which is its soul, to commute, to transport, to, in a way, change the structure of the body of the man. In part of the intro, we heard that we did a test on December of 2014 with 3 different parts of the world: Canada, Italy, and Germany. We use Canada and Germany as satellites. And now, just change the name. You are becoming satellites. You're registering yourself to become that step change. Where the source is your soul, the energy which is within you, then being reactors rotating. A dynamic structure of the reactor of soul has taken place instead of those 2 units. Now we are getting inquiries from all over the world that knowledge seekers want to be satellites for the next phase of the development. You can go on the website of the Keshe Foundation and just become a satellite and register to it. And now, when the test comes, we all become part of this process. When the test comes, we all take shape, we take our position to bring the change. It is interesting how, as I said, if you read my books, if you read the patterns, depends on your understanding, you take from it what it comes according to your intelligence and knowledge you get. Does not need a PhD, does not need a master's or being an engineer or a doctor. We've seen one of the most beautiful people in Keshe Foundation have no education in science, and they're doing better than many of the others. But the interesting point is that the knowledge of the Creator has no patent. And this is what we teach: how you were created by the Creator and how you can change, you can move, you can create condition of the knowledge and the rest of it. This week we have entered the phase of flight test by soul. Yesterday we switched on the systems for the first time. And to our shock and amusement, to our, in a way, pleasure, we went back to noises, systems interacting, creating fields, energy supplies interacting with certain reactors, and the flight room was buzzing with noise. We walked around, seeing where the noise comes from, why it's so clear. And it has a rhythm. It's last night or this morning, early hours of this morning, I received a message that it's like the systems are talking to each other. We recorded it. It's like they have the souls. And in a way, they're getting ready to transmute the soul and the body of the man. It's very touching when you see how you read the pattern, how you read the book. The intelligence has gone from the spaceship into the space soul. And it means the same thing if you understand it. It means the same and it works the same way. And this level of knowledge cannot be patented. This is a gift from the Creator and belongs to all of us. But how will it be used? How will it be used to develop the next step for mankind? How will it act with? How do we extend it? What can we do with it to extend, to bring condition of peace on this planet and beyond? Not to abuse it. We see in the past 7-10 days, 2 of the world religious leaders have bite the dust. And we see again a monarchy of religions is coming up, where we got the monarchy of the crowns. And these things will be abolished. These things will not have a room in the next few months and weeks once this technology expands beyond. We have to understand what these new technologies brings us, what these new systems in lens will bring forward to us. Talking to one of the knowledge seekers in the past few days, passing an egg of a dinosaur in a museum, I was asked the question, what happened to these? Can we bring these back? Up to now we couldn't, now we can. But we have to understand what we're going to get. Because now we know with the new technology, you will appear according to the time, position, and the place where conditions will dictate how you will become, how you will be seen. Today, as I've explained many times before, in our solar system, the sun is in the center and Earth is somewhere around this point. When the dinosaur existed, we were somewhere around this point. We're moving in. The gravitational pull of the solar system is pulling the mass. But the beauty with it is that at this point, dinosaurs were this high. In today's position, the atmospheric condition and the condition, even the soul of the animal is still the same, brings a new understanding. The dinosaurs of today cannot be more than this high. Because as we go closer, the atmospheric pressure and everything else has changed. But in essence, the soul of the animal is still the same. We will see in the new reactors, in the new flight systems which come into operation, we can put you in one system and you will be 2 meters high. We transmute you in another system in the same room. We create the condition of planet X, whatever could be. your height will be 1 meter. You'll be puzzled on your own manifestation of how come I shrank? How come I have 4 arms instead of 2? This is the reality which within the next few days and weeks we will be testing. This is a reality which we have developed technologies for it to not stay as a theory and becomes a technology. The system set up allows us to vary the condition in the destination. But if we bring you here at 1 meter, and then at the same time when you arrive, we change the condition of here to Mars, you might appear here different height and different shape, even you're still in the same system. Now, this is a reality. This is not something theory. We have the machines. We are testing it, and we will go out to endeavor to test it. You remember when in some of the teachings I told you, you give me a fish tank and I give you with 1 drop the fish. I drop you in the soul of the fish, and the fish will manifest itself in that water as it wants. In the center, we have a fish tank. We brought the first fish nearly a year and a half ago from the Iranian to the liberation table, and now it's become a big fish. You'll put this tank in one, and we manifest its soul and its condition in the other, and we show transmutation of the fish, animals, humans, and the rest. But it goes back in, and I'll refer to this in different ways, that by the say of a prophet, even a stone has a soul. Now we have a stone of egg of a dinosaur. What happened when we enlightened the soul of this stone? Would we get the dinosaur and show the beauty of the stone? Exciting time in research and development, and new understanding will come forward. If the rope of the Christ is true, and it carries the essence of his life, with one thread, we can manifest the soul and the manifestation of his physicality. And if it's a false robe, then we know. If the Jews have the clothing of the Moses, we shall create that through technology and understanding. So be it with other prophets. So be it those who committed heinous crimes will bring it to answer to humanity why they did, and that we learn from it, and our children learn from it. The new technology brings a new dimension of understanding. The new technology, as you become satellites, we can have conferences in any corner of this planet instantaneously when you as a soul become the guest of the souls of the planetary system. I received a small message this morning. Do we have a permission from the universal community to go out? I said, I wrote, the permission was given, and that's why we are here, to get it working, to get man out. It means man has reached the level of understanding of the position of a powerful source of energy and life in the universe called the soul of the man. Is your intelligence which extends it, and is your intelligence which restricts it. And it's your intelligence who accepts the dogmas to the point of its intelligence and understanding, and at that point it will stop. We have started the flight system tests for transmutation from one system to another. But the interesting part for us is how do we see the soul of the man in the new system? How would we communicate with the soul once arrives from this destination? For me, it's easy. I know what to do. For humans, as they are physical, they have to see something to believe is there, they will have a problem. But the beauty of it is, we send the soul back, and the soul confirms receiving the message and being with us and taking with us. Those of you who have become and registered a satellite will be contacted when the time comes to be ready in a certain way to make your soul accessible to receive. Be it the souls of the man, the soul of the creator of other kinds of lives, and those of the universal community. And do not be surprised if you see new things around you, or you feel new things around you. The essence of the presence is very strong. Yesterday, when we turned the system on for the first time, we felt it in the room. It was shocking. Even with the experience we have, we get surprises. To understand that you are in the presence of the others, even though you cannot see them. You can feel them. Because in our system, we have created a condition of a position in the universe, and our system has become accessible to those. It'll be interesting to see in the coming time what creatures of Creator will walk out of that room. And mankind will become familiar and befriends new creatures of the creation. Whatever I have said, I have delivered. And be ready for this change. The interesting thing will be if the Austrian immigrations have visas ready for man from planet Zeus. And how do we admit them into Austria? Do we create them a birth certificate? Or do we create a birth certificate for other citizens of the universe as they walk out of the room? Do we treat them as celebrities or as strangers? Or do we treat them as one of us in the level of the soul? The reality is that mankind has entered this, what I call, zone of interaction with the universal community and with the soul of himself. In the next few weeks, by introducing the secondary set of what I call spaceship units, we will create mayhem for many of you and will change the course for many of us. We reckon in the next 3-4 weeks, if our team is good enough for the way they are putting everything together, the new systems will take their place in the flight zone. We can keep you here on the condition of the Earth, move you here to be on Mars, move you here to be in the space of another position in the universe, and bring you back to another and return. And you will remember all of it. And you remember every language and the memory you spoke in this journey. The beauty with the new system is that it brings the beauty of the Creator. Our systems are set, and our systems are ready to bring the new technology forward to all of us, irrespective of our position on this planet. And in the coming weeks, we try to bring the communication with those of who we consider as a member of the universal community. I'll make arrangements that we can listen to the communication and the words of the man of the universe, what is expected of us, what we have to do to reach that ultimate goal of the opening to universal community. As you call it, a message in a bottle. The message, in most cases, will not be heard by the ear of the man, but it will be heard by the soul of the man. And the mankind will respond to it. When we do this, we'll see the end of religions and the abuse of the talk of the name of God. We'll see the end of all what we call religions, because every soul will be enlightened. Then we'll see the next step. Then we see when mankind will decide for itself to go to the next step. The technological development on this planet will not stop, because it's part of the pattern of living here. But new technologies emerge, which bring new understanding to the work of all these processes. As I said, we will introduce new chips, which is no dimensional tangibility. And Chinese cannot boycott it, and American cannot restrict it. But every nation, every man will make as it needs for what its purpose and need be. As we see, usually they say, they break a bottle and they inaugurate the sailing of a ship. This has happened yesterday, and we inaugurated the opening of the first space reactor, which allows the soul of the man to travel from one point to another with the point of observation of the man. The technology cannot be written to be patented. The technology of the creation has to be felt by the soul of the man to be understood, and has no patent. Enlightenment is the patent. Enlightenment is understanding the patent of creation and the Creator's work. We'll bring you more and more of this knowledge, and we open the door. We open the door of the knowledge step by step. And we'll bring this forward to the point that most of humanity can understand, can see, and can take it up and replicate it. Will not be belonging to a nation, to one person, or one culture. It belongs to all of us as humanity, and belongs to the universal community. It's a gift for mankind to become kind to himself, to be a kind of a man that can be kind to the rest of the universal community. In so many ways, yesterday, pre-testing, being in the room, and then going back again and again, and trying to understand if the systems are ready for the next step, if the systems are there to bring the change. It brought forward that the man has jumped a leapfrog across the knowledge of the creation and the Creator. This leapfrog has been so huge that The man cannot even believe itself that is possible. The knowledge has to be spread in such a rapid way that no nation stays behind, no culture stays behind. So the satellite souls, which you are all registering to become, is essential for us to spread this knowledge across this planet. We don't use what we call the satellite people, volunteers, just to transmute to. We use them to transfer energy to the other souls in the language and the environment. In the way, those of you who became the satellite or registering to become satellite, you become the Universal Council soul members supporting. In a way, you will see the next step, which is planned for this part of the, what I call expansion of the knowledge. It's not that we send you or we bring you things, is that we use your soul. In a way, you become messengers of the message of the knowledge of the universe in the language that people, in the emotion that the people around you understand and can accept. He's not teaching anymore by making magraphs and showing how to make scans, but is the way that your soul becomes the teacher to the others, to be elevated to understanding of the teaching of the Creator, the knowledge of it. And it can be done in different ways, but all the purpose is to change the ingrained in the soul of the physicality of the man and the physicality of the man to kill and destroy. This way, man walk away from it and accepts in totality, not just individuals. Those of you who volunteered to become satellite, you have not understood what you have walked into, that you become absolute satellites. When you have a satellite over a country, its waves covers the whole of country and every creature. It depends what you have that you can receive what it sends, and if it is for you to receive. Understanding the work, these satellites of the soul are connected. And so we do not need to put you in the space to be. You're already spaced in the position that you are. We want to change the mankind from the essence, from the path of killing and war and conflict. When you become the ambassadors of peace, you're the satellites of the peace. This is your job to spread this in a way that it changes, ingrains in the animal to human and the rest. The responsibility of those of you who become satellites is chosen by your soul. And those souls have the responsibility to change the course of humanity. This is thanks to the new knowledge. This is thanks to for whole nations to understand, to accept. Do not be surprised that you see the clergy who come to you and they take their frocks off and they walk away from what they preach. As now they are enlightened to the knowledge of the creature. We expect many, many clergies to walk away and leave their frocks behind. And some will even hide it because of the abuse they've done while they were wearing it. The time for this is a handful of time, not much. We have to see the end of two that begins with the new cycle. And the two is completed. We are waiting for the cycle by you to start in how you go ahead and how you develop the understanding. The center in Venice is a beacon of the knowledge from the Creator, and you are the satellites to receive it and to spread it, and nothing else. And don't be so arrogant that you become. Be humble that you are. And this will carry on with all of us. This will carry on with many of us. And many of you who came to Linz in the past few weeks, you'll find out that you have become already part of the satellite system. When you listened to the two systems yesterday, it's literally like they are in pattern of adoring each other. The noise is so intriguing, but you feel the emotion of peace, emotion of harmony and tranquility, and in a very, very specific way. This is what I came here for. You feel part of it. We set the systems to change. We set the systems to be applicable for different, what we call, understandings and different souls. And we see how everyone will react. And we sit and monitor to see how you as souls will come to understand the totality, and you come to understand as a whole what will happen to us as a human race. What will be the future of us, all of us, and how we have to have a clear soul that will not allow our own tainted desires to interact with what is to come. In so many ways, we are preparing you in the next few weeks for one of the final steps to become passengers of the universe. In the coming time, those of you who will test as a passengers to the moon and Mars gives us the opportunity for our knowledge seekers to understand the process, that from then on you become passengers of the universe. Depends where you beam the light of your soul, and that will be your home. And if you accept it to be in that home. In the next few weeks, as we extend the work of the Keshe Foundation in Linz, we extend the knowledge of the humanity. In a way, we become the center of the spreading the knowledge through the soul and not through the books. Many of you will come to new enlightenment, and you do not understand how it's happened. In a way, you receive the knowledge without a pattern, as it was said in the intro, that Mr. Stephen Hawking cannot steal it from you. And he cannot cheat. It's the purity of the knowledge that you will receive with the patent of the Creator. And then you call it enlightenment. How you will handle it is your decision. How you bring it about to share it is your decision. It'll be very interesting to see that we are still developing different aspects of the technology in the physical dimension, but you are so advanced that you think you might not need it. But if you transmute into the matter state of it, you still need that knowledge to be able to do and to be able to live. In the coming weeks, we ask more and more of you to come to Linz. In a way, we request you to come to Linz and go through the system, because there is a bigger plan in the background for this purpose. Bring with you, not your dogs, please, they're too big. Don't bring with you an elephant and others. Bring with you creatures of Creator, that we, the same as we are transferring the soul of the Chinese, the English, and the rest, we transmute the soul of the what we call animal kingdom and the plant kingdom into this process. It's our responsibility to change everything, not just for man. It's our responsibility to elevate the soul of the created and not just the man which has been created. In the teaching of today, I have taught you a lot if you understood it. And there's a lot of hidden messages in this teaching of today. Those of you who understood will act upon it. Those of you who are still waiting will sit till the cows come home. And by coincidence, there are no cows in the universe and they will never come home. You'll be waiting for a long time, which means you have not understood the essence of the knowledge. But time will change. And as I said, when the time comes, we shall be enlightened. As one of the knowledge seekers said to me very recently, how come there was no interest in me? I said, because you are so ugly in the essence of your soul. And so we have to understand the totality. We have to come to understand that the knowledge is shared accordingly and without prejudice, the way we do. Transmutation of the soul of the man is very much different than transmutation of the physicality of the man. Essence of every self and essence of every being within you. The transmutation of the soul is the easy job, where the transmutation of the physicality is within it and it does it itself because it wants to guarantee its existence. In a way, as you protect and hold your hand out or in front of you, or hold your head when there is a danger to protect that soul. Now the soul protects that physicality that when it manifests itself, the soul itself guarantees its own existence. In a way, is a mutual interest for the soul of the man to protect the physicality, that when it chooses to manifest in the dimension of physicality, it has something to manifest itself into, that it protects it. But remember one point. Does not matter to what shape, what combination of shapes you'll be manifested anywhere in the universe or on this planet. At that point, you have a soul within you. And it's your job to protect it, and it's your job not to abuse it. Just when you get to the water, don't drown yourself. Think that's over, and I can do what I like when I got here. You'll find out, because now your soul has been trained to work, you will find out your physicality will be very temporary. Because now the soul has learned how to free himself from the shackle of physicality. And then the game starts. The game of Mitra. Do good, think good, and act good. Does not matter in what the state of soul or physicality manifested. The preacher is you, the teacher is you, and the only person, the only entity which can go wrong for both will be you. When the soul does a misconduct, that will be the end of the life of the man, as the soul will disintegrate itself to become the food for the next cycle of creation. Many of you wondered, when does the soul end? The work of the soul does not end. But if the soul picks up the habit of the physicality, you'll find out there is no life to live for both dimensions. And then you'll find out the race is to be better in physicality than the soul condition, and it'll be better in the soul condition than physicality, and this will create a perfect region. It's not the fear of demise, it's the pleasure of, in a way, ascending to the levels of the closeness to the Creator. Don't forget, the same applies in the same position and condition as it does with the sun and the earth and the bigger, heavier things in the background to be closer. It goes with the creator, the soul of the man, and the universe. And then we understand how everything matches, how everything fits into, and you are responsible for it. We just guide you to it. You make the decision. As I said, very soon you should see that no one will go to churches and the mosques and the synagogues and the temples. As the man has become wise to the freedom, the temple of the man is the soul of the man. And the actual temple is the universe. Why do you choose a little, what I call, bricks and mortar? In the coming weeks, once we feel the humanity is ready for it, we'll take the cameras in for you to see the transmutation of the souls. We take cameras into the Rai system for you to see the transmutation and conversion of the soul to physicality. It'll be an interesting time because it cannot be denied what is in front of us. A new method of transportation, transmutation. Dean keeps on telling me, I'm ready to go in whenever you're ready, Mr. Keshe. Dean, you have to wait till we are ready that you can come in with the cameras. That we as a human race are ready to see, to accept, and bring the change. We don't want any man overboard, as everybody is on board and it has to be carried out. I hope with the teachings of last week, this week, and in the coming weeks, we are preparing you for the encounter with the universal community. And that's the whole purpose of the teachings for the past couple of weeks and the next few weeks. Understand the teaching and be prepared to encounter your fellow brothers and sisters from the universal community. Not by theory, but in reality. Because you're preparing you for that point of what we call rendezvous. And it's for you to accept. And how much shall we change? Do you want to go backwards to the UFOs to fly? Or you want to go forward and travel in the dimension of the flights of the Creator? Either way, there's no harm. Either way, there is no danger. Either way, the elevation of the soul of the man out of the leash of the physicality of the man is the whole purpose of all these teachings. 450 of them. We go for a break, we come back, and we have a small video tribute to one of our beloved knowledge seekers who passed away this week, the head of Keshe Foundation TV section. And then we answer any question. Would you like to take us to a break, Rick? Come.
Yes, sure, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much. This is the 450th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, September 15th, 2022. And we'll take a short commercial break here, as they say, and be back in a few minutes.